Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, depending on when you're watching this video. We are back today with another beer review, and the beer we have with us today is Foster's, the Big Blue Oil Can. Now, Foster's is originally a beer from Australia. It says right here, over 125 years ago, during the summer of 1888, the Foster brothers gave the thirsty people of Melbourne their first taste of true refreshment. And you can see it has this little red kangaroo at the bottom, and it just says Foster's, established 1888. You can see it's got this big yellow ring with the blue oval in the middle, and then it just has this red F with this little white background drawn around it. And it just says Foster's along the can. Founded in Australia, right here at the top. And then down here, it says Australia's famous beer brand, this little script at the bottom, which apparently, I looked it up on Wikipedia, if Wikipedia is to be believed, but Foster's is apparently not a very popular beer brand within Australia. I was quite surprised. I would assume that the most famous beer brand from Australia would be the most popular beer there, but apparently not. Now, this is not, depending on where you buy it, it's not, I thought this was brewed, I thought all Foster's was brewed in Australia. It's not. Now, if you buy it in Australia, it will be brewed locally in Australia. Australian Foster's is owned by this Japanese group. I'm not going to be able to remember the name. It starts with an A. And then Foster's in the UK is owned and produced by Heineken, and Foster's in the United States, which is what I have right here, I have a American Foster's, is made by Molson Coors. And the American Foster's is 1% higher ABV. It's 5%. Everywhere else you buy it in the world, it is 4%. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is this is an entire quart. That is 32 fluid ounces. That is quite a lot of beer. Standard tall boy is 24 ounces. So this should last me quite a while, but I believe that is all I wanted to talk about. So without further ado, let's get this big ass oil can cracked open. Oh, that was satisfying. That's a cool sound. Oh, that smells, oh, that's good. That's good. Looking forward to it. I have high expectations. That is very difficult to pour. With this big oil can, it just, half of it just ran right down the side. But yeah, without further ado, let's give it a taste and see how it is. Tastes like a beer to me. Honestly, I haven't even gotten past the foam yet. Let me just try another pour. That is an art form right there. Pouring out of a can of Foster's. If you see someone pour out of a can of Foster's like it's nothing, they have practiced that before, because that was quite difficult to get it to not run down the side. And wow, I don't think I have ever gotten that much head on a beer before. That's crazy. I wonder, it's probably, if I had to guess, they probably overcarbonate them just because it's such a big can. And they figure if you're going to be pouring it, this whole thing is not gonna fit in a beer mug. There's no way you're making this fit. So it's gonna have to be multiple pours, and you don't want the beer to go flat by the time you get to the last pour, right? So better to have, in my opinion, way too much at the beginning and still have some by the time you get to the end of the beer. And there we go. I finally got to the actual beer. I finally got past the head. And there's not much to say about the actual flavor of the beer. It's pretty much what you expect from a standard lager beer. It's a very good lager. I like this a lot. Taste-wise, I'd say this is probably closest to Pabst Blue Ribbon. Of the beers that I've had before, this would be closest to like a Pabst Blue Ribbon. Maybe, honestly, it might be in between Pabst Blue Ribbon and Coors Banquet in terms of sweetness. Because I know Coors Banquet and Pabst Blue Ribbon are very similar tasting. But Coors Banquet is ever so slightly sweet. And it's got more of like a bready flavor to it. Whereas Pabst Blue Ribbon is a neutral. It's a decidedly neutral flavor. You can't really describe Pabst Blue Ribbon as being sweet or unsweet. It's like right down the middle. And it's got more of like a grainy kind of taste to it. This is kind of in the middle. It's not, I want to say it's not quite as sweet. It's probably almost as sweet as Coors Banquet, or about the same. But it doesn't have that grainy taste, that Milwaukee beer flavor. Because obviously this is not a Milwaukee beer, even though, oh wait, no, I was about to say even though it's made by Pabst Blue Ribbon, but it's not. This is made by Molson Coors. Look at that. All the way to the top. All the way to the top. And liquid level is about right here. That's where the can starts to feel cold. So yep, we're about halfway through already. And wow, that sticks around forever. I was expecting it to start to go down. No. This is also a really good beer mug too, so that's another reason. So only that last little bit did I actually get the beer. Pretty much all foam. So that's the general impression that I'm getting from this Foster's lager. Is it's very foamy, but also tastes very good. And I'm a sucker for the flavor of a nice lager. I would honestly say, I know they call this an oil can. This is probably bigger than an actual oil can. Like, you put this can next to like a oil filter for your car. This is quite a bit bigger. An oil filter is about like that tall, and around the same width. And I know there are two different kinds of the oil cans at the liquor store. There's the Foster's blue can, which is the standard one. That's what I bought. That's what I wanted to review, the normal one first. And then they also have the green can, which I'll be honest, I probably should have looked up before I made this video, but I don't know what that green can is. I don't know. Yeah. I do not know what it is. And I think I was right about what I said earlier. I think they overcarbonate it so that way you still get plenty of foam and the beer doesn't get flat by the time you get to the end of it. And I am drinking this pretty fast. Like, we're down to about here, and we're almost 11 minutes into the recording. Like, I am drinking this pretty fast because I don't want to stretch out this recording for a super long time. But if I wasn't recording, I would definitely take my time. This would be a sipper. This would be the type of beer where I crack open one and I would make this oil can last all night. Just sipping away. How is it still dripping? I don't know if you saw that on camera. It did just drip. Good thing this is leather. Just wipe it down. Foster's is also just not a beer brand that I see like anyone drinking. I remember when I worked at the liquor store, there was one guy that would come in semi-regularly and he would always get 6 of these oil cans, the blue Foster's oil cans. And he was the only one that I ever saw buy this stuff. And I don't know why. I mean, it's good. But this is not a bad beer. It does not taste skunky. It doesn't have any bad flavor to it whatsoever. It's just not one I see being drank by a lot of people. Except for that one guy. I mean, hey, that one guy though, he knew ball. He knew what was up. Excuse me. I'd recommend it. If you like beer, if you like lager beer, try Foster's. I'd recommend this stuff. This is good. I feel like this would be the type where if you're like hanging out, like maybe you got invited over to like someone's birthday party or something, or a cookout, and you're just like standing around drinking some beer. Imagine you're just standing here with this big ass oil can in your hand, just and I would definitely recommend, if you're not trying to feel super full after drinking this, because again, this is an entire quart. I mean, that's crazy to think about. 4 of these would be an entire gallon of beer. That's just that phrase, just think a gallon of beer. That's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you're not trying to feel super full off of the beer, pour it into a glass, because you're drinking, you see all this foam up here, that would still be in the, if you were drinking it out of the can, all that foam would be going into your stomach and taking up more space, making you feel more full. You pour it into the glass, you're pretty much just drinking the liquid because the foam all, like, allow me to demonstrate. That just went right on my hand. Again, these cans, I feel like they didn't make them for pouring. They probably made this can thinking that people were just gonna be standing around drinking it right out of the can, but in order to get a true grasp of the flavor, it has to be in a beer glass. Because that excess carbonation will not allow you to get the entire, it won't allow you to get the entire flavor. And I'm thinking about right now, what would I rate this beer? Because taste-wise, I'd put this right up there with the other super popular, mass-produced, full-flavored American lagers like Pabst Blue Ribbon and Coors Banquet. I'd put this right up there with them, flavor-wise. And it's not that expensive. I honestly can't remember what I paid for this oil can, but supposedly this is a relatively inexpensive beer. And again, I can see why, because you get an entire quart. That's crazy. I still can't get over that. That's just crazy to think that I have an entire quart can in my hand. But yeah, I think overall rating, ooh, man, I'm thinking about an 8.5. Maybe a 9. I don't know. I'd say 8.5. We'll play it safe. We'll give this beer a 8.5 out of 10. And again, keep in mind, an 8.5 out of 10 lager does not necessarily translate to an 8.5 out of 10 IPA, or an 8 out of 10 porter, or an 8 out of 10 cocktail. Like, everything, you gotta separate them all out. But in terms of lager beer, I would give Foster's Blue Oil Can an 8.5 out of 10. And I think I'm just going to finish this up right here, and then I will end the video. But yeah, thank you so much. If you've stuck around this long watching, thank you so much. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what you'd like me to review next. I do beer, I do liquor, cocktails, mixed drinks, really anything you want, as long as it's legal, and it's not a hard drug, I'll review it. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say. All right, peace out until the next one.